At the outbreak of the World War, a promising young Prussian officer had joined the Oberste Heeresleitung, Kapitän Kurt Ferdinand Friedrich Hermann von Schleicher, son of a nobleman and a merchant's daughter. He quickly made a name for himself, first as officer in charge of frontline supply, and later as a vocal opponent of war profiteering in the empire. His proficiency in political intrigue, managing connections inside and outside the armed forces, and reputation as a progressive eventually led him to the position of Prussian Minister of War in 1931, an influential post given the lack of a unified civil command in the empire. The election of the revanchist Russian president in 1934 and the resulting crisis of an attempted preemptive strike against Russia by rogue elements in the German army leadership put his skills of balancing interests to the test. In the run-up to the 1936 Reichstag election, von Schleicher was seen as a grey eminence, the man who pulled the strings behind the Dirksen cabinet. The betrayal by his old allies in the SPD during the crucial days leading up to Black Monday, where the opposition, both left and right, decided to burn the German economy for their own political gain, has forced him into the foreground, however. Von Schleicher is a skilled administrator, and while politically neutral, he is ruthless in using any means to achieve his goal of a centralized state, even if it means cooperation with some of the more unsavory elements on the fringes. It's one man against all, and the coming weeks will show if he can survive, surrounded by enemies, the economy in flames, and old enemies emerging once again like sharks, sensing the empire's weakness, out for blood. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. So yes, Kurt von Schleicher, as in the introduction, is now becoming the Reichskanzler. He is somewhat known to have socialist-leaning interests, so we'll see how that combines with what the left has been pulling off so far. But he was, in the First World War, actually somebody who spoke out on behalf of the common man against war profiteering and similar things. So he has been given that nobody can currently form a government because the central bloc doesn't have the seats. The left and the right are in the opposition. Well, the left is significantly stronger at this point. We have Schleicher, who gives us 2% stability. It removes the March leads to April, so the whole March constitution uncertainty, which introduced the vote of no confidence option in the first place, and appoints von Schleicher, which gives us additional political power, 10% consumer good factories. That's not great. But 5% division recovery rate, and Cabinet Schleicher will become the ruling party. So it seems unlikely that he can stay for long. Yes, because he has enemies everywhere. Obviously, the left around the SPD and the right around the Deutsche Vaterlandspartei are going to try and effectively get a 223-seat majority to get him out again and bring their own candidate eventually. And the surrounding enemies from the remnants of the last war, we have the socialist circle here between Italy, France, and United Kingdom. We've got instability in revanchism in Russia, and we've got the old Entente still around. So lots of things going down, and obviously instability in Asia, where we are currently fighting. Trying to, close our first gap, and we seem to be actually making some progress here. So, von Schleicher is in the field, which completes the focus. Chromium trade with German East Asia was terminated. That is probably because we no longer have any civilian factories, because we just lost another 10%. Elections have been held in the German Empire after 2 years of failed governments and a stock market crash, which resulted in a worldwide economic collapse. The empowered permanent opposition parties, SPD and DVLP, gained a large enough share of the vote that another moderate liberal Catholic cabinet is no longer possible. In light of the difficult situation, Kurt von Schleicher has been appointed as a unifying figure. Schleicher is a general of the Heer, of the army, and a Prussian Minister of War, who accumulated impressive influence in the past 2 years. Pragmatic to the core, he expresses his wish to work with all parties in the Reichstag to combat the crisis, but he does not shy away from his true goal, a stronger, more centralized and militarized empire. Centralized, yes, because the squabbling of the various interest groups inside the empire is what is how we got into this trouble in the first place. So it seems that the Reichstag election mechanic, for now at least, has been removed. But obviously they will not hold still, but they'll do their best to do something about it. What else do we have here? Let me quickly read that. Right, so this is happening. Let me close that. This is happening over in Riga, and this was actually a part of the old. This is a bit of a déjà vu for von Schleicher, because during the last crisis in 1932, 1934, the German army was trying to create a casus belli to actually attack Russia preemptively, and they were using the Forest Brothers, which is an insurgent group in the Baltics, to try and create that. But because von Schleicher himself and the government in Berlin were not in favor of that, it never happened. So we've got three choices. We can either, and the United Baltic Duchy is part of the Reichspakt, so there we go. So we can either spend 70 political power to ensure that the duchy survives, and they've made it pretty clear that the partisan organizations and resistance have completely undermined police and law enforcement. So if we don't help them, this will go sideways, and they will go independent. Which is a bit of a problem, because that's sort of a part of our Baltic access here, plus our somewhat reliable connection to Finland. We give them full support for 70 political power, limited, which means they may or may not survive, or we can just leave them to it, which pretty much guarantees, at least from the text, that the duchy will fall to the separatists and leave the Reichspakt. So I don't think we have a choice here. We're going to spend another 70 political power to make sure that the duchy survives. And we do have to keep a close eye on the Black Monday crisis. I'm still going to wait maybe 2 more days or so. Other than that, I think there's not an awful lot right now that we can do. We have lost the terrible. The terrible national spirit. So we probably will get a slight improvement to our political power situation eventually. We are, due to stability, still having problems, but Kurth von Schleicher himself effectively acts as a silent workhorse, so he will eventually do that. Has this unlocked? No, this hasn't unlocked the tree yet. So we'll complete the military mission to Constantinople, which will give us a very slight amount of XP, and then we'll see what else we do. But in the meantime, we will get back to Asia, and these divisions have not arrived yet. Yeah, they're somewhere on the ocean, presumably. But we'll make do with our cavalry for now, and I just have to keep an eye on the. That we're not missing the date here, but I do want to do these late, because there's so many events that seem to be influencing things that I don't want to spend this too early. So let's keep going. Okay, we have taken the north. We've taken Hangzhou, so we can probably just send one here and the other 2 already there. That should be sufficient. And we've got 4 days left. So that division will be wiped out, and those 2 divisions here will be wiped out as well. And then we will see. They're pushing us back around on the southern area, so it's about time that we wipe it out. Most recent vote in the legation council has failed. I can't remember what that was. Sorry, it's been a couple of days since I recorded that. So Unfortunately, it failed. I don't know if we were invested in that or not. We've got 3 days remaining, so I might actually just let's do this one. So let's see if I understand this correctly. We've got an economic health of -10, which gives us 50% consumer goods factories. Oh yeah, that was a thing. We could no longer trade because we literally have no factories left. And we can't get off civilian economy because we don't have the war support or the political power to do so. Yeah, I'm just using the factories to improve the intelligence agency at this point, because everything else, the construction time is at -20%, which is terrible. Okay, so we have a liquidity crisis. Let's go back to Germany. We have a liquidity crisis. So it's a bank crunch, basically, which means that the money issuing relief. So we'll print some money. We do some quantitative easing, put some cheap credit into the economy, and deal with the liquidity crisis. Most likely because everyone's now afraid, and the banks don't lend to each other or anybody else anymore. And without credit, a fiat-based system is somewhat in trouble. That'll cost us 1% debt. So our debt goes up to 106. We have to keep it under. I think we have to keep it under 200. Yeah, at 200, the whole thing will default. So money issuing gets us somewhere towards that, but obviously not all the way. So we have still capital controls, which doesn't really help with the liquidity crisis or an employment program. But we do have the Reichsbank analysis card, which we can use to just take a closer look and see if we can find something. We can find a different hotspot, crisis hotspot, that we can apply our cards to. So let's do that. And it turns out we also have a labor crisis, which means that I have no idea what that's short for. Reichsarbeits something other. Employment program is now 50% more effective. So another 1% debt, which means we probably don't need to spend the capital controls card anymore. Yeah, we get above it, so that's all good. We don't need to spend the capital controls. Chancellor on the radio doesn't do anything because we haven't done anything recovery-wise. There are a couple of, I think, or reform cards that we can play, but they're locked behind focuses. So, okay, so that's done, which means once that ticks over, this should go down to -9, which hopefully slightly improves our overall situation. We are still pretty short on everything. Just a quick check on the Air Force. Yeah, we're currently fighting in the northern area. But we have aerial superiority. The enemy hasn't brought any air. So that's done here. And then we will just wipe out that last remaining division. And then I'll have to see where I'm going to deploy my cavalry next. We are sort of collapsing a bit here in the southern area. But I would like to get the northern region finished off first, if we can. So 2 days, that'll time out. What's the other event that's timing out? Capital events that time out. No, it's just this one. Okay, so that's all good. So once that times out, this should go up to -9 because we won this round. And you can actually join here as well. Okay, interesting developments. First of all, von Schleicher is giving his nickname of the Red General all honor, and actually said, you know what, the interests of big business don't matter. What matters are the people who are unemployed on the streets. So he's looking at the 2 economic proposals that we've seen mentioned earlier. One of them from the 2 Fritzes, Tarnow and Bade, and Walter von Rathenau. And we have these, I think, in the focus tree, although that is still locked. There's the Rathenau plan and the Tarnow-Bade plan. So he's going to focus on, his government is going to focus on helping the people first and foremost. But the second thing that's really interesting, and that's where everybody actually went, ooh, scandalous, is that he is making a decree to change the constitution. So with the March reforms, the vote of no confidence was introduced, which we can't see it anymore, but effectively the Reichstag could kick the Chancellor out, and then the Kaiser had to appoint another one. But that is now changed, and that is changed to a constructive vote of no confidence. So previously they could just kick out the candidate. So the DVLP and the SPD could just gang up and say, kick out the current candidate, Kaiser, bring in another one. But now they can't do that because they have to bring their own candidate. And obviously, if they're acting alone, then they don't have the votes to get rid of the Chancellor. If they're acting together, they would have the votes, but they're not going to agree on a new candidate because they are from opposing ends of the political spectrum. So with that little masterstroke, von Schleicher has effectively silenced their ability to just get rid of him immediately by ganging up together. So that's interesting, which gives us 2% base stability. And we have to see, so currently we are, what are we currently? We are currently authoritarian democrat. And the higher that popularity goes, the more political power we get. So that's a good thing. And that opens up some decisions and other things. So we do that, which, the constructive no confidence principle, and the Arbeitsschlacht. So we are fighting a battle for labor at home, which now opens up the Cabinet Schleicher here. So what is this now doing? Okay, I'll have to read that and I'll summarize it for you when I get through it. Okay, so the way I understand this, there's a number of seats in the Reichstag, 445 if I remember correctly. So with the constructive no confidence change, either side, sort of the democratic left or the authoritarian right, needs to get 223 seats, which is 50% plus one seat, in order to evict von Schleicher and propose their own candidate. As such, they have formed two coalitions. So there's the left side, the Democratic Union or Demokratische Union, currently containing the SPD and a couple of fringe parties. And there's the Schwarz-Weiß-Rot, Black-White-Red coalition on the right, which is currently the Deutsche Vaterlandspartei and some fringe people on that side who don't even have a seat. The rest of the political parties are currently sort of undecided. So what's going to happen is that they start lobbying, and they're starting to lobby other parties in order to get the required number of seats. To by themselves, so either block by themselves, evict von Schleicher and propose their own candidate, which then the Kaiser most likely will have to accept given the overall economic situation. So in order to counter that, so right now the Demokratische Union is going to try to get the liberals, the minority bloc, and the center left. And the right wingers, the SWR, is going to try to get the conservative and center right party. So obviously the parties that are closest to their political orientation, they're going to try and get. Now, von Schleicher can talk to 3 out of these parties and convince them to stay unaligned. However, there are 5 parties, all in all, that are being targeted. So right now, the Demokratische Union has 153 seats, and the Schwarz-Weiß-Rot coalition has 68. So obviously, the left is way closer to reaching the critical mass than the right at this point. But I've got 30 days until this happens, so I've got plenty. We'll finish up the mission to military mission to Constantinople, and then things have opened up here. So we'll look at that when we get to it. But there are a couple of focus trees here that we can, or focus branches that we can use to. And in 2 days that'll be finished, that we can use to deal with the political situation at home. So, sorry, right now this is a wild mix of combat on the ground and political jockeying for survival. But we'll try to get von Schleicher maybe with some support from the left, because that's more his leaning, although he is neutral, technically, he is independent, but he is more leaning conceptually towards the working man, but he's also authoritarian in that he has the military background. So he can work with both sides, but we'll see what we do. Anyway, let's finish things here on the ground. We just need to, there are two divisions here that will fall, and then we'll probably start pushing towards the capital to get the Northern Alliance here, or the Northern Rebels here, capitulated. Once that is done here. And then we might be able to, let's have a quick look at the terrain. We might be able to push through along the northern side of the river, through the forested terrain. This is all hilly. It's not great terrain, but we might be able to push through and try to encircle their frontline units and threaten their capital in the south. But let's see. First, we will need to get rid of this here. And then we do need to keep a close eye on... Oh yeah, has this actually ticked over? Almost. That should improve construction speed, consumer goods factories, hopefully, and other things. So I will just have to keep an eye on this. And I just want to wait if there are any events coming in, because so far it's been very event-rich, and see if anything makes a difference here. I don't need to make these decisions yet. Okay, our military mission to Constantinople is complete, which means we can now take a look at the focus trees. Now we could continue over here, but right now that'd probably be suicidal, because we need to secure Schleicher. The right side here, these branches, have focuses that help Schleicher stay in power, if I understand this correctly. And we can use these to do various things to weaken the other two blocks. Then we have two plans here. We've got the Tarnobade plan, or we've got the von Rathenau plan. Von Rathenau was a bit of an extremist, but I think they're both very leftist plans. So in that regard, they are actually sort of von Schleicher's kind of cup of tea, which is probably why both are here. So let's have a quick look and see what they actually give us. This is 10% construction speed, max factory 10%, and minus 10% consumer goods. So this is, and down here, that's nothing. So these are just, oh no, it's 5% political power and 5% construction speed. So this is construction speed, more factories. And the other side, factory output. This is a couple of free, 2 sieves and a mill. This is base efficiency. This is nothing. And this is research speed. So we can get research speed and base efficiency basically, and output. Or we can get just plain old more factories. I'm sort of leaning towards the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same number. I'm sort of leaning towards the right side. Also, the 10% consumer goods factory and the 10% max factories seem to be more powerful late game, but I might be wrong here. So this is just to, this also gives us a couple of, this is recovery relief cards. There's a reform card here. Okay. And there are probably a couple here as well. Yeah, there's another reform card. So we can also restructure our debt. So this might be something we need to do if we're getting close to the 200%. And we've got the Freiwilliger Arbeitsdienst, or voluntary working service, if you want to translate it. And that seems to be unlocking. This is what von Schleicher was talking about. This give people work. There are a couple of. Oh, there's a research slot down here, so that might actually be worth. But we need to get down to -7 economic health to make that happen. So there are a fair amount of leftist politics here. I don't see anything from the right wings, but a couple of interesting things here. 6% consumer goods factories. These are all decisions, so I'm not sure how much they're actually going to bring. Here's a recovery card and another relief card. So this is a fair amount of things, but this by itself just gives us a Arbeitsdienst Public Works, which is a relatively powerful work creation card, and it gives us 10% infrastructure construction speed. Well, given right now we're not constructing any infrastructure. So first things, so we've got recovery cards for the economic crisis. We've got debt restructuring, and we've got kind of economic reform, and we've got von Schleicher staying in power. Given that, so if we were looking here, right now the Democratic Union has 153 out of 220. They are getting LVP, Minority Bloc, and Centrum Left. So that's 30, 68. Yeah, they're already. If I let them have that, then they're already over 223. So they can't have that. So they are probably the biggest threat. The SVR not so much at this stage, but they can be pretty quickly. So I think the Man in the High Castle is the first one I'm going to get, and because that unlocks the. This unlocks the other decisions here. So let's get that. 21 days. So I can finish that before this even kicks in. So that's on the way, and we have wiped out the divisions there. So now we can. Are they capable of taking? I think they're about to take They might be about to take the capital themselves, honestly. So maybe just breaking through the south here is the better option at this stage, and trying to use our speed to push towards the southern states. But that is overextending it by quite a bit. Alternatively, this is all mountainous, is it? Terrain. Oh, this is plains. We could break through here and then try to get through the forest and see if we can encircle anybody here and just weaken them in general. That might be the better option. So let's get our cavalry lined up here, and we'll give them an order to try and push south and see if we can get any kind of options to surround the enemy. But we also need to actually recover some of our excuse me, would you mind going here? Okay, this is probably the flexible cohesion nonsense again. Let's go down to rigid, and I would like to be in control. Thank you very much. So I want 2 divisions here, 1 division there, and 1 division here, so we can have a maximum frontline width when we're pushing through that. Oh yeah, because they are about to get encircled here as well. Well, we'll see what we can do in terms of mayhem, but my divisions need to recover, so many things need to happen. Okay, the Swedes, I wanted to buy some tactical bombers. Yeah, you can have them. And we will be fighting in the south. Now, my fighters don't have the range, but they don't have any air. So this actually, I could have used the tactical bombers here, to be honest, but this will give us aerial superiority by itself. Can I still pull the tactical bombers out of the yeah, no, there's not enough of them left, and I don't think I have enough in the actual air wing. I should have a tac bomber. I should have some tactical bombers. Yeah, I've got 2. So no, we don't have tactical bombers we could use, but the Dorniers might have been useful here. Either way, I'm still getting area superiority because they literally don't have anyone here, so that's good. And we don't, this is, hang on a minute, was it 30 days last time? I think it wasn't. So this slows down actually. So now we have, yeah, this has improved slightly, so we should get a couple of yes, we're back to minus 15% construction speed, and we're getting a couple of consumer goods factories back. And okay, so I do have to keep a very close eye. This is going to happen first, 27 days. But more interesting things happen. We are getting to choose our vice-chancellor. So we have three choices. We need to appoint a vice-chancellor. We can take the safe option and appoint Thilo von Wilmowski, who is more on the conservative side and would effectively freeze the Schwarz-Weiß-Rot coalition from taking any other parties. We could take August Winnig, who is from the SPD right wing, and as such would actually freeze the Demokratische Union. So this is interesting because I have three ticks to block things. So I could or Schleicher just does it himself, which means he would not reach out to the other parties and go hardline. It's me or nothing. My way or the highway. This would cost us 5% base stability though, so that's not something I'm willing to take. And I think von Schleicher is somebody who is politically savvy and not afraid of building temporary alliances or reaching out to his enemies. Given that the Demokratische Union is our biggest opponent for now, let's get somebody from who is. Let's throw them a bit of a spanner in the works, and prevent them from going around telling everybody that we are oh so conservative and authoritarian by getting someone from the SPD as our vice-chancellor. And hopefully that'll keep them a bit in check. So that has the advantage now that the Demokratische Union is not going to do anything. And the Schwarz-Weiß-Rot coalition only has reached out to two parties. And I still have three ticks available to effectively tell them off and say, no, don't do that. So I'll keep my eyes on more further events. But for now, we've completely blocked the Demokratische Union from expanding their seats by appointing one of theirs as the vice-chancellor. So that's a good thing. And we will get more troops. We get our troops to the front line. I'll just keep an eye on if my divisions here are arriving anytime soon. And I don't think I can actually get them onto the front lines because do I actually have military access here? I do not have military access. So no, I couldn't actually. Do I have military access here? No. So I can't actually move the troops through here. They would have to be sent as volunteers. And I have sent all the possible volunteers that I could. So that's what we're dealing with. Cavalry, it is what it is. So they'll just be here in case the whole uprising thing and the insurgency there is cascading even further. But for now, that's what we have. We have a couple of divisions in training that we might be able to deploy. I don't know if that is enough to unlock additional volunteers. I mean, I would have to train them in the field, but which is a little bit more intense. But they don't have a huge amount of expensive equipment. So let's throw a couple more out here just to make that happen, and then we'll deploy these. And then we will see if we can send volunteers. Nope, we're still at 4. Okay, so that's all we can do. And that means we're going to stay with our cavalry divisions here. And yeah, this is taking 30 days, this is taking 27 days. Okay. Okay, Dominion of Canada and Afghanistan have ended their hostility. Why was the Dominion of Canada... Oh, because the Dominion of India was fighting Afghanistan. So I'm not sure if is it any larger than it was before. Maybe entirely possible. But either way around, the Dominion of India is no longer, and with that the Entente is no longer at war. And here they have managed to get one of their divisions encircled, which is a little unfortunate. but we will see if we can. We'll see if we can counter push. We'll send one division south here. See if we can counter push and maybe manage an encirclement here, and stabilize that. The Dominion of Canada declared war on South Africa. Hang on a minute. South Africa was part of the Entente, wasn't it? Oh, it no longer is. South Africa is now the South African People's Union. So they have gone syndicalist. Oh dear. And immediately Canada has declared war on them because they want to try and get the old gang together again. So okay, yeah, not my construction site right now. I am trying to make something happen here. Do we? Yes, we're on the right side. So we have aerial superiority, which means we should be getting the they are getting the air superiority debuffs. Okay, hang on. What's going on now? Okay, interesting choices. The Minister President of Prussia is generally separate from the Reichskanzler. Now, Prussia, over here, Prussia is by far the largest and most influential state in the German Empire. The German Empire is not a uniform entity. It is a collection of states with their own political ideas, interests, and squabbles. So traditionally, the Minister President of Prussia is separate from the Chancellor, and that is such that the Reichstag can actually remove him if they don't like him, rather, without actually nuking the Minister President at the same time. However, we have options now. So von Schleicher has spoken out against the system. In this critical moment, the empire must have one head, not two. It needs to consolidate its resources. Being a respected official from Prussia, Schleicher has the potential to become the first Reichskanzler to also be the Prussian Minister President in over a decade, which will put Prussia's resources, influence, and law enforcement under his direct control, for better or for worse. So either we can get Rödern as the Minister President of Prussia, or we can do it ourselves and get a dual role. So this is our first option to centralize, to consolidate power around von Schleicher. Given the power of Prussia and also the power of Prussia to cause trouble for us, I think that would not be a terrible idea to request ourselves to be appointed. So that's definitely something I think that we'll try. I don't know what the chances are here or the ramifications of it, but this feels more in line with what von Schleicher is trying to do, because otherwise he's going to potentially have trouble with the Prussian government as well as with the whole thing. And as we have seen, the state governments and the Reichstag in particular are not helpful when it comes to dealing with the economic crisis. So let's do that. So, given for how much has already happened, I'm going to end the episode here. And next time we will see if von Schleicher can make it to be both the Chancellor and the Minister President of Prussia.